Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Saturday night. It's good to be back here in Saturday night, and it's good to welcome you back to Romhack Races. Thanks for joining us. We have got a really exciting level tonight. It is week 187, and we have got a level from le4che BLN. Recent Twitch partner, le4che BLN, creator of Titan Mario, the recent tournament, and Whiteland from a previous Romhack Race. The name of this one has been redacted for now. You'll get to find out what it is later. We've got 17 brave racers who have signed up. Revela Calco in the upper right to start us off. You Fail Me and B2DE to go. But we also have, like I said, 17 people who have signed up. And we have Scouts, Chair Eevee, Osu, Mario Cartman, and Darkenine who will be letting us know who to rotate in on the restream. This level was tested and rated by myself, SQL Infection, Darkenine, and Dr. No. Tonight, from le4che, Legendary Maker, length of longest section, rated by the testers 4 out of 10. However, complexity, 7 out of 10. And execution at a 6 out of 10. So shorter sections, but some really tough stuff. And I actually do know a little bit about what this one is going to be. I had a chance to test this as well. I'm really curious to see how these racers are going to do. This is one of the coolest levels I think we've had in some time. And if that wasn't enough for you, just a little bit, I'm going to give you the play-by-play for these first couple of races. And then once we get into it a little bit tonight, we're going to have le4che BLN, the man himself, join us in the commentary booth. I guess it's just us sitting in our rooms. But we'll pretend it's the commentary booth. le4che's going to jump in a little bit and give us some dev commentary for this level as well. That's going to be exciting, so hold on to your hats. We got a fun race coming up. If you don't know what we're doing here and you've never been here before and don't know what's up, this is Romhack Races. Every Saturday night, we do a brand new, never-before-seen Super Mario World Kaizo level. It was made by someone in our community, tested by good friends and volunteers that we have on staff. The racers have no idea what they're in for. They've never seen this before. They're just going to have to improvise and use whatever skills they can pull into the table. They don't know what's going to be, but they do have the difficulty ratings to kind of give them an idea of what to expect. We're up to 20 racers tonight, so good luck to everybody. We got Revelug, excuse me, like I said, Revelug in the upper left. You Fail Me getting the right patch in the lower left. B2D in the lower right. And fresh off his win in the Titan Mario tournament, I do believe Calco won it. We are honored to be to have Calco 2 in the upper right-hand corner tonight racing with us. Calco, everybody is good. I don't want to, commentator bias. I'm here for everybody, but I would like to give a special shout out to Calco for winning Orca BLN. They had a tournament of Titan Mario. Calco took it home and is just a very, very talented runner and player. We're happy to have them racing with us tonight. We got about a minute to go, so get comfy, get your pets situated, make sure they're comfy, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you need to do. You're not going to want to miss this really exciting level tonight. Orca's going to be around a little later to talk about it. I'm le4che. I'm going to give you the play-by-play. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Romhack Races ourselves as an organization, we do these races every week, and you can find out more on romhackraces.com, where you can also download this patch or any of the other 186 patches if you just want to try a race level, play it for yourself, and see how you do. Big shout-outs, of course, to Dr. No on the restream, helping everybody get this nice, clean audio and video for you. And, of course, D to the fourth. She's always helping out with the website and the leaderboard. Exclamation leaderboard in chat while we're racing. Excuse me, if you'd like to know who got what place, what position, and can check that out there. And we're just about ready to go. So the name has been redacted for now. Things don't always go your way. Good luck and have fun. And it's Romhack Races week 187 with a level from Orca BLN. Let's go. I think you're going to like this. And, we get to find out the name of the level. It's le4che Flips the Switch. Surprise. And let's go. Now, Orca is known for some really wild setups, item abuse, precision, all sorts of just incredible stuff. You're going to see it all here. First things first, take a look at You Fail Me in the lower left. First thing, we got to drop onto the blue Koopa there and eject the shell so that the yellow Koopa can jump into it. That's creating a disco shell, and they're going to need to surf on that throughout the next section. Now, what is happening? Check out Revelug, upper left-hand corner, Revelug making huge progress already. Now, this is a little bit different. Have you noticed something strange going on here? How do disco shells normally behave? This is a quiz. I bet you didn't think you'd get quizzed tonight. Disco shells normally behave by tracking the motion of the player. It will try to come at you. But notice here in Revelug in the upper left-hand corner, notice that disco shell is just sort of peacing out. This disco shell, which the players may or may not have realized yet, this disco shell does not chase the player. It will just go and bounce around like a normal shell, and the players are just going to have to deal with it. However, it does have the disco shell wedge-shaped hitbox. Here goes Revelug making such quick work of this in the upper left. Keep your eyes on the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Revelug is really picking up on this fast. You Fail Me in the lower right. So once we've got the disco shell made, we're going to be activating some of these on-off switches. Here goes Calco in the upper right. Got the hang of this one already. And it might take the players a minute to realize, like it did for me when I was testing, that the disco isn't behaving normally. I'm getting a little purple screened. So it makes it, I sort of miss a little bit. Revelug, though. Revelug, Louis Duce in the lower left, Halcyon in the lower right, making progress. So now we've got to open these on-off switches. And they will open the gates, open the outlined blocks. Solid blocks are solid, obviously. Outlined blocks are outlined. This is by Orca, and Orca is going to be jumping in just a little bit to do a little bit of dev commentary, talk about it. But first, we got to get some We got to get some play-by-play on these races here. We don't have any clears. First section, it's anybody's game. Revelug, Calco, Louis Duce, and Halcyon. Revelug, though, with a little bit more experience, I want to say Revelug right now is in the best position. They have been very far, and now they're getting to this section with the Disco is sort of trapped in that lava pit and going to be hitting the switches in the wall, which open and close the gate. But keep in mind, this Disco does not behave like a regular Disco, and I think that's such an interesting twist on the standard Mario. It's a subtle change, but it makes such a big difference having to just run to keep up with the Disco instead of having to move and deal with it tracking you. So Revelug now needs to hang out in that middle section, and they want to hang out because there's a white winged platform that will be floating back and forth, and that is spawned in the far right position. So they're going to have to wait for the platform to show up, and you can see it there. Louis Duce getting there as well. So they're waiting. That's the point of hanging out there, is they want to wait for that white platform to come back. Did I try this level? Yes, I did. I am staff and do testing as well for this. Sometimes I haven't tested the level because I like to put myself in the racer's shoes, having not seen it. But for Orca's stuff, yeah, I wanted to see what was up here. Y'all can thank me for the suggesting 3 on-off switches in the wall. And here goes Louis Duce, lower left-hand corner. Louis on the platform, almost. I thought they were going to get it. Calco, too, in the upper right, definitely a threat. And, yep, Calco's getting about to the same point. Halcyon as well. Halcyon here, see those 3 switches? Halcyon hitting the right of those 3 switches. That was my suggestion. You're welcome, racers. I thought maybe you'd all appreciate a 3rd on-off switch to help that jump out a little bit. Orca wanted to give you 2, but that's because Orca's really good and can do it with 2. The rest of us need 3. So we are right now, it is a battle to get out of this stall section. Here goes Louis Duce, lower left. And, yep, oh, almost. Louis, yeah, needs to get on the platform. Louis, Calco, Halcyon, and Revelug, I think, all tied for progress right now. So this is a really interesting situation because it's coming down to consistency for these racers. Here goes Calco. They're going to have to quickly memorize positions and learn how to waste enough time here with the Disco Shell kind of bouncing around erratically. And here goes Louis Duce in the lower left. They're on the platform, and this is progress. RB Pimlico in the lower right with a chance. And Louis Duce, keep your eyes on the lower left. Did not hit that switch fast enough. Here goes Calco, though. Watch out. Same moment. Now Calco's chance to make some progress if they can read the situation. Okay, but they've learned. But they have learned. So now it is going to be a race of consistency. And that's something you're going to see on these tough levels. Can you just continue to beat the parts you already learned? Everybody needs to get to the end to do that one final trick where they died. But how quickly is Calco or Louis Duce going to be able to get back to that section to have another try? This is where consistency matters, and this right here is where consistency wins races. The player that gets out of this section is likely going to be the player who is most consistent at getting tries. And that is something a lot of these racers are great at. Here's Calco for another try. They have got on the shell. Calco in the upper right. One shot. That is the power of consistency. And Calco, one shot for that vertical pipe and first one to the second section. Well played. Sub 10 minutes. Here goes Revelug. Can they get the checkpoint too? Louis Duce trying for that checkpoint. Revelug with a shot at it. Louis Duce going down. Oof. And Revelug fails to hit the switch. You've got to close the one switch in the lower pit there so that the shell, so it won't fall in the pit. Calco now in the lead, though. Direct your attention to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This section is wild, and I think people are really going to enjoy this one. I had a lot of fun testing this, too. 2 disco shells. They move the same way. They're just scooting along, not tracking you like a normal disco shell would. And Calco is going to have to kind of read the environment here and figure out how to guide these shells to the end while they bounce around inside different sections and is opening some turn block gates, hitting some on-off blocks. A lot of understanding of flow right now, but Calco is at an advantage because they are the first one here, and they have time unopposed to learn things about this section that all the other racers will have to learn for themselves when they get here. We didn't know how quickly we would get our clears. This is kind of beating expectations right now. These racers are talented. Revelug, watch the upper left. Revelug, one or two hops, skips, and various jumps away. Oh, that's a tough break. Tough break. Revelug trying to get off that disco shell, but remember, the hitbox of the disco shell is wedge-shaped. So if you bounce on the left, you'll get kicked off to the left. And if you bounce on the right of the disco, you'll get pushed to the right. Here goes Louis Douce. Pipe! That's important. That is really important. Louis needs to catch up in knowledge. Granted, the racers don't know where everybody else is. But with Calco having this much of a lead in the second section, it is going to be on Louis Douce to accumulate knowledge quickly. So this is where things might get interesting. Calco's in the lead, right, a little bit more experience, and you see Calco actually, they know that they're not going to be able to make it, but they're going ahead anyway, just to learn a little bit about the flow and what's coming up here, because this can be really tricky to figure out on the fly. Calco, though, with some really good reads. Louis Douce, though, no stranger to having to figure out complex flow. And check it out, Louis Douce also, which I think is a very smart play, going ahead. Even though they probably can figure that, okay, well, I can't make it without both the shells or whatever. Even though they can intuit that, they still run ahead in the level a little bit to practice or to see what's coming up. That wastes time in a race situation, but you have to sort of decide what's that worth to you. You know, is it worth it to spend 2 minutes, maybe a minute or so running ahead? Or do you just want to go for the clear? B2DE in the lower right, about to make some progress here. Maybe. Check out Revelug, upper left. Revelug has had a lot of tries at this final part. Got to let the disco out by hitting the shell and then just surf all the way over to victory. Nicely done. Revelug, one shot. I don't think anyone's failed that up pipe yet tonight. That's an up pipe off a disco shell, not an easy situation. If you haven't really played a lot of Kaizo, it might be a little bit strange to visualize the way the disco hitbox works. But just look at the sloped sides of the shell and think of it like a wedge or a ramp. So the players, if they want to ride smoothly, have to compensate for the fact that they're not bouncing on something flat. They're bouncing on something that wants to kick them off in the direction. Sort of like a, I don't know, like a mechanical bowl or something. It's hard to come up with a good analogy. It's like bouncing a rubber ball off of a skateboard ramp. It is. Mario is the rubber ball. The disco shell is the skateboard ramp. So oftentimes you'll hear players complain about having to disco surf or not being able to manage that, and it's because of that wedge-shaped hitbox. Yeah, the disco shell, the wedge-shaped hitbox of the disco shell is not the same as a regular shell. You could think of a regular shell as having basically a square hitbox. It's easy to bounce on, and if you touch the top, you're just going to go straight up. You have more control over your bounce. But disco sort of wants to, like, buck you off in a direction. I know it's a silly way to put it, but if you spend a little bit of time with it in the game, too, you can quickly feel how the disco is not like a flat surface, basically. Hey, yo, thanks for the gift sub. Dr. No on the restream. Jeez. Look out. Though Louis Douce making some progress in the lower left. Calco as well. getting to this drop section with both of the shells, and looks like they may need to be a little bit quicker because the disco shells are moving into those little gaps in the wall, places where Mario can't go. And when they do that, they're hitting some on-off switches that open and close blocks, blocking the player's way. And so the player's going to need to move really quickly there or hit the switch. Yeah, Calco experimenting with some multiple switch hits. Hit the switch the right amount of times and make sure that those two discos are still moving along. This is a good example of machinery in a level. The level is a big Rube Goldberg sort of contraption that the player needs to keep it moving and make sure all the moving parts work together, or else they will not be able to get through at the end. This is really, man, this is exciting. I'm interested to see how people do, and right now I think we're kind of just in a dead heat. There is no obvious advantage between Calco and Louis Douce. Revelug catching up a little bit. They're going to need to maybe get some one-shots. If you're behind, chances are getting through an obstacle sooner will get you more knowledge, even if you don't actually beat the obstacle. We got RB Pimlico, though, second section, all 4 racers on screen. Almost 15 minutes in and 4 on the checkpoint. This is some really high skill. A lot of different approaches here, and the racers definitely, like Revelug here, they only have one shell, but they're just going along anyway. That's not really a bad idea. However, it does waste time, which is something that I thought would be interesting in this race, is to see what players value. Are they going to just throw in the towel every time they know they're toast, or are we going to practice and try and go ahead a little bit, and which of those is going to win it? Calco, though, with the mad consistency, falling onto that disco shell, though, right after that drop. RB Pimlico, too, same death. Exactly. The trick is to make sure the time doesn't end up being a waste. Yup. I like that. So this is all made possible by the fact that these discos don't track the player. And I think that's just such a... Well, we're going to have Orca on in a little bit. Orca is going to come by and do some dev commentary, too. So we'll let Orca talk a little bit about that. But we wanted to get a couple of clears in so y'all don't miss the first clears and all the action. Thanks for dropping by. I feel rude. I didn't even mention, like, hello. I hope you're doing well in chat. Thanks for making Romhack Races a little part of your Saturday. You can check us out on romhackraces.com. Try this patch out for yourself if you think these racers look like scrubs and you could do it better. I bet you're right. So this was the section, I think, where the 7 out of 10 complexity. This section earned the the very high complexity ranking. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of flow to try to predict. Revelug in the upper left. Oh, big run. And I think that's progress, actually. I think we've got a new lead. Revelug taking the lead with a little bit of knowledge. If you're curious about what I'm considering lead, the player who has successfully seen the most of the level could be said to have the best position, because really knowledge is the most valuable thing in these races. Well, knowledge and skill, of course, but assuming skills are relatively equal, knowledge is important because you don't know what to do if you don't know what's coming up, right? So here goes Louis Douce. I'm sorry, that's Louis Douce in the lower left. Louis Douce. Yeah, so since Louis Douce now has seen the most of this level, you could say that Louis Douce has the most progress or is in the lead. That could change on a dime, though. which is something that's really, really interesting about Romhack Races, because all the player has to do is one-shot something else, and boom, now suddenly they're in the lead. It's really, you shouldn't even put too much stock in the player that's in the lead, because it really comes down to the player who is going to have the most knowledge, and someone who could one-shot something could immediately take the lead. I like to try to bring up a little bit more about the dynamics of these races, how and why the lead can change and dynamic situations can occur. Revelug, another good run. They definitely have a hang for keeping these 2 disco shells. Watch out. Ooh, little slow, though, getting caught by the shell. Calco, too, just chopping away at this. Oh, my gosh, look out. Uh-oh. Huh. Calco, looks like they got a little farther, but didn't have a place to land. Here goes Louis Douce. Definitely, you can see the consistency rise right now. Now is the time to make moves. Here's Louis Douce. Watch out. Louis Douce in the lower left. Remember how these discos move. Louis Douce. Smooth. Absolutely smooth. Oh. Absolutely amazingly smooth. The skepticism and the yump. Louis Douce, sub 20 clear. Unbelievable. Taking the lead. Calco with the first one at the checkpoint, but Louis Douce taking the lead, although Calco definitely gets it. We're looking for a second place now. Louis Douce just crushing that. Very well done, and the exceptional read. Notice the one shot at the ending made it, right? They didn't need 2 tries at that. Here goes Revelug. Needs another try. But that really made the difference. Here goes Calco. They know what to do. But look at the value of that one shot, right? Had Louis not one-shotted that, we would still have a very tight competitive race. So it can come down to the smallest instance. Who gets that one obstacle on their first or second try? Love it. Dynamic race. Love to see it. Here goes Revelug. And we're bringing in Halcyon in the lower left. Revelug, Calco, Halcyon, RB Pimlico running hard for second place. This is the battle right now. This is the battle. Anybody's game right now for second. Halcyon seems like they know what to do. Can they get this disco ride, though? Watch the lower left. Nice try. See that, though? No, this is anybody's game. That could have happened to Louis. You see the subtle differences. It comes down to one jump. Excuse me, one read, one bounce. You never know. RB Pimlico's turn. Watch the lower right. Revelug. Halcyon with the blazingly fast consistency. Not to be denied, but they cannot get that disco ride quite right. You know, it messed me up when I was testing this, and I think it's messing the racers up a little bit too. Normally when you're bouncing on a disco shell, you're bouncing in such a way that you control the horizontal movement. But since you don't have to do that here, it can trip you up a little bit when you try to move these discos. Such a clever, subtle change to make this level happen. Revelug, ouch! Halcyon. Watch the lower lefts. Yikes. RB Pimlico's turn, lower right. Revelug again. Look at these chances though. Look at these players just farming attempts right here at the end. And it's going to come down to who is going to be able to be consistent enough. Louis got it with the one shot. That's what you really want. You know, everybody wants the one shot. But who's going to be consistent enough at getting to this final part to farm enough attempts to get through? If you can't get it with the one shot, then you must get it with the consistency. And the more consistent player will probably get this here. Here goes RB Pimlico for their try. Nice, but not nice enough. Calco's turn, upper right. Revelug, nor. Halcyon's try. Oh, shucks. Hey, there's an unexpected from out of left field. Stu in the lower right with the nump, but the GG and a solid second place, sub 25. Halcyon's turn. All right, now Halcyon. Revelug trying for the pipe, and Halcyon trying for that third. Oh! You love to see it. There's the yump. And Halcyon is going to take our third place. We're going to hang out a minute. And I just sent a little invite to tonight's maker, Revelug, in the pipe. Let's go. Sent a little invite to tonight's maker, Orca. Whenever Orca wants to, welcome to jump on the live chat and say, hey, we're going to get a little bit of dev commentary tonight from Orca. Revelug with that nice GG. No yump, but that's okay. We're not here to dock points for the lack of yump. Some fast clears tonight. GG. We still got a race. We're still hanging out. And if you have any questions and you want to learn a little bit more about what we do or about how Mario World Kaizo works, about some of the mechanics here you're not clear about, please feel free to ask. That's not dumb. You're not being annoying or stupid. I appreciate that folks want to learn. So, yeah, feel free to ask about this. We're going to hang out a bit and see how everybody does. We're here to cheer everybody on. Nathan MG. Calco is still working hard. You fail me. B2 looking for that pipe. And if you like this this level tonight, go and check out. There he is. What's up, Orca, maker of Titan Mario World?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Orca. Hello. Great level, dude.
Yo, thank you so much. I am Orca. I made this level, and this is my, I think, 6th race level, 6th or 7th. And yeah, I always wanted to make a level like this.
So yeah, tell me about it. Like, what the what's le4che flips the switch? Is that an inside thing? Where did the idea for the disco non-disco shell come from? I love that.
So maybe you remember I made a hack called Comfort Zone in 2020.
That was a pretty comfy time.
Yeah, and in that level there's a level about disco shells. And I was experimenting with a block made by Noviso that turns everything into disco shells. And I found out that if you put that block in a one-tiled space and drop a blue shell in it, then it will become a disco shell like that, only go in one direction.
Interesting.
And I made like one short setup with it. And I always wanted to make a complete level. And yeah, this is the level. And actually, I thought you needed this block, but le4che found out that it's vanilla. You know, so all you have to do is hit a blue Koopa in the air or put it on a 1F0 and hit it. And that shell turns into a disco shell like this.
That is fascinating. Yo, GG Calco, 2 for the win. Nicely done. Nicely done. Sub 30. Calco, really strong player, excellent, one of my absolute favorites. Calco won. They had the recent Titan Mario tournament, right? Orca, that Calco took that, right?
Yeah,
I saw a few rounds of that. Good
Calco
stuff.
was being, of course, very consistent, and one of his runs was like less than 30 seconds away from world record, so he killed it that night. That's for sure.
That's intense. That's
Yeah.
very very cool. But yeah, so this is, I think this is really fascinating. So if you hit a blue Koopa in the air, it will form a disco shell that acts like this, and that's just a vanilla thing.
I think it's not only blue Koopas, but all Koopas that don't walk off ledges. I think
That
that's
is really cool. I never knew that. Never had any idea about that. Red and blue.
Actually, nobody knew that that is vanilla until le4che figured it out.
Very cool. And so, okay,
And,
so the le4che shout out in the title then, well deserved.
Exactly, and flip the switch is shout out to Third Wall, of course, who made a hack called Flip the Switch, and there's a lot of on-off switches here.
Yeah, this is you really did a good job having a really readable flow and a flow that makes sense after you play it a while with all this machinery that's going on too. I really like that style of design.
Yeah, you can imagine that the second half was pretty hard to make, because you have to find ways to make the disco shells go back and forth without colliding, and it has to make sense somehow, you know.
Yeah,
and
because
this is
making
really
the player
hard to,
like figure
hard to
that out
indicate.
too much would be rough.
Yeah, and shoutouts to the testers for helping me making this kind of readable, because this is definitely designed to be convoluted, and you know, you have to figure out what to do. You can't just I don't know. People try to hit that switch where you can see the P switch at the end several times. You know, like it's hard to indicate in the right way. You know.
Yeah, there's something to be said for making levels that just imply what you do. And B2 trying to imply themselves a yump here. I think this level is a really good example of that. GG B2 is like, if you do it enough, it becomes very obvious what you do, and you don't need a lot of indicators. Really, like, how do you know what to do? Well, it's the one thing that actually works. And I think this level is a great example of that, because like anything wrong, if you do something wrong, the shells are just going to break, you're just going to get stuck somewhere, and you're just not going to be able to get it anyway. So it teaches the player in a really good way. I like that about your style.
It's also like you don't have to use a lot of indicators. Like in the second half, for example, I make you go pretty fast from the start, but not full speed, you know, and that kind of shows you the kind of speed you have to take through the entire section, you know. So like you can just make the level and make it in a way that makes sense, kind of. It's just something you need experience for, I guess. And I couldn't have made this level 2 years ago, so
Yeah,
I decided to wait, and I don't know.
Oh, you could have made this level 2 years ago?
Well, I made a section with this disco shell in comfort zone, but I didn't dare to make like a whole level out of this.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit, and we didn't know how players were going to do with this. We thought it might be a longer clear. But when I tested this, I thought to myself, like, wow, this is really hard, and I wonder how people are going to do with this. But racers have been getting a lot better. And to be honest, I'm kind of not surprised we've had a podium in like under 35 minutes. Like that tracks. It's a tough level, but players have gotten really good.
Yeah, first of all, and second of all, this is it is a tough level, and I think the rating is on point, but the sections are both pretty short. So with some consistency, you can learn what to do and get through the 2 hard parts in every section, and just like make it work, you know.
Yeah.
And we had some really good one-shots that were really impressive.
Yeah, Louis one shot on that the pipe section. Calco one shot on the checkpoint pipe. GG, you fail me. And yeah, Louis one shotting the pipe section. I really like that dynamic nature of it, because it's the racer that got to the checkpoint first is not guaranteed to win. And a level like this really kind of shows that off with the consistency, like you said. What's your what's your sort of level design philosophy? What's the Orca philosophy for design, and what to challenge the player with? How much is too much? That kind of thing.
I don't know, like I kind of try to not necessarily find like new stuff, but do something with a twist, you know, like give the players something they know and kind of twist it and turn it. So you know what you're doing, but you kind of have to figure out how to do it, you know. And like if a level like this level is supposed to be like hard to read and you have to work with the disco shells, so like there's no other difficulty like tightness, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that is difficult in each section, you know. In the first half, you have to work with the disco shell, which is at first pretty difficult, of course. And so there's nothing that is tight, you know. You don't have to be super fast. You don't have to watch out for like low ceiling, you know. Nothing is hard to reach.
Yeah.
And like that kind of keeps the balance, I think. So if I would have decided to make this really tight and you have to be fast and tight inputs, then we would still be waiting for the first clears, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the difference between, I talk about like making tricks hard versus making hard tricks. And that's, I think, what you've done here. You've made hard tricks. You haven't taken what's here and just made it extra hard. Like, for example, you could put like a death wall. When you go to throw the grab block up, like Death Do in the upper right there, you could have made that right wall kill you. Just, you got too close and now you're dead. I think those decisions are good. Everybody has their style, but I always really like to see this sort of thing where the tricks are interesting and the content of the tricks is difficult. It's not just difficult because you added a bunch of extra spice to it, you know?
Yeah,
I have appreciated that about your style a lot. I think you do that very well, is you make hard and interesting tricks that stand on their own without needing a lot of one tiles and stuff like that.
That's why for me, West Slasher is still like one of my favorite creators, because everybody knows Chefy 2 and how difficult it is. And I played through it again recently, and I really noticed there's like 2 parts in the entire game that have like a low ceiling with like a tight regrab or something. Yeah. And the rest is just hard to execute, you know. But you always have space to like you do the right inputs and you win, you know.
Yeah, I really like how you know, Chefy 2, I think when it came out, I remember playing it and testing for it, and it was kind of, people were kind of intimidated. It was sort of polarizing. And people have really warmed up to that, and it has like really earned its legacy as an influential game.
Yeah, it is still hard, and you should still be like mindful of the difficulty and like the difficulty of tricks and the stuff you have to do that is like new. But it's not as scary anymore, I feel. You know, there's very few hacks that stay scary forever, like Responsible World.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's a sign of people getting better. You know, even with Romhack Races, you know, a 4 out of 10 difficulty used to be a lot harder than it is now. I think on the whole, players get like all the difficulty rankings go down by like half a point every year. You know what I mean? People just get better and better. And, you know, this one, maybe a couple years ago, this level would have been way harder than it is. And now people are practicing. They're going through this. We have makers like Orca who can help us with this really complex stuff. And, like, people are more used to that now, I think. So, yeah, it's really been cool to see the skill ceiling rise.
Yeah, and again, shoutouts to le4che for finding out that you can actually do this vanilla. That's how the first half works. Like it's purely vanilla, except for the bounce blocks, on-off switches, etc.
That is so cool. Yeah, I don't know. When did you start playing Mario World? Just out of curiosity.
Romhacks in...
Or just Mario World in general. Like, did you play when you were a kid? Yo, Death Do in the upper right in the pipe.
Oh yeah, I played as SMW as a kid like crazy.
Yeah. Same.
And even when I was like a teenager, I dug it out every once in a while.
Yep, same. But in all that time, we have still been learning things about the game. You know what I mean? We have... I am learning something new about Super Mario World, a game I have played since 1992, right now, right here tonight. Never knew you could do that disco thing. That is just, I don't know about you, that is just amazing to me. I love that about the game, and I love how it is never over. We have not found all the cool things yet.
It's not only that, it's also like you made ROM hacks yourself, and if somebody would really put science in and grind it out, you would find out stuff about your own hack, you know?
Totally.
That you, as a creator, wouldn't have known otherwise.
Question from... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Oh, question from chat. How many days, weeks total would you say it took to design this level?
The first half I made pretty long ago, and I really cut it down for the race tonight. And the second half, I don't know. Second half took me maybe the raw design, maybe like 12 hours, I would say, over a couple of days. It rarely takes super long for a level. When it takes forever to make a level for me, then it's bad.
Yeah, I can totally get that.
It lives a lot about it lives a lot from spontaneous ideas and flow.
Yeah, I like that very much. I was gonna say, do you think it's easier? It almost seems like it would be easier to design a level like this second section because there are certain things that have to happen. The disco shells have to keep moving, so you have to keep figuring out stuff to do with that. And sometimes I've found that helps me design because it pushes me along. Like, I always have something, well, okay, the disco's going to move here, so I have to design something like this. And then the disco's going to move here, so I have to make it that. So it, gives me, lines to color in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's harder to clean up, though. The second half, the ideas, they came, yeah, even though, it's something kind of new. So, in some situations, yeah, there's only one thing you could possibly do with the shells. But then you would sometimes be able to go a bit too fast, sometimes you were too slow. You know, sometimes it was too difficult to hit a switch at the right time, make the shells not collide. So the first half was definitely easier to make, I would say. Even though it's, I kind of wanted to make a standard disco shell level with a twist. And the second half is just something I've never done before.
Did you know how you were going to end the second half when you started it? Did you know that where Nathan MG in the upper left here, where they're moving through those opening and closing things and you open the switch at the end, was that how you planned it, or did it just sort of resolve that way? Oftentimes
no.
I find that my stuff just kind of ends up at the end. I didn't really think about it. That's just the place where it ends.
Yeah, I definitely did not plan to rip off Sheffy 2 there. That just happened, yeah. Like most things just happen.
Oh wait, what level is that a Sheffy 2 ripoff?
The part with the sticky blocks. No, the part with the sticky blocks where you control the on-off blocks with LNR.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it seems different enough.
Yeah.
It's got that, because Sheffy 2 had the regular shell and this one has the disco shell.
Yeah, exactly. Even that weird disco shell.
It's such a subtle change. When I tested this, I got really confused in the first part for a minute or two because I was just why is this disco not behaving? What am I doing to make this disco just not even follow me at all? Is it broken? Oh, it actually works that way. I like that moment of realization. Yo, watch the upper right, chat, Zaplex with a shot at the checkpoint.
Oh, Zaplex is racing. Nice.
Oh, do you have the stream viewer? I can send it to you real quick so you can also watch the actual... We have a behind-the-scenes stream tool so that commentators can see it in more without being on the stream.
Oh yeah, I'm on there now. Great. Thank you for that.
Yo, Germ Dove! Nicely done, Germ Dove. Lower right-hand corner, getting to the second section. Love to see it. It's Nathan MG, Zaplex, Jank Pickle on the second section, and now Germ Dove. Oh, yo, Orca, I know this is neither, kind of here nor there, but congratulations, recent Twitch partner. Very deserving. I am glad to see it. Nice to see someone else from Kaizo, getting that recognition. GG.
Thank you. It only took 7 applications.
Ha! Yeah, I got rejected on 6 myself as well. I know how that goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
That was back before the affiliate program, but yeah, it was a long series of rejections.
It happens.
Oh, yo, Nathan MG getting in that pipe with 1 coin. Very smooth.
That's all you need.
Yo, yeah, hey, chat, if you like this level tonight, that's Orca_BLN on Twitch. Drop a sub, drop a follow, and check it out. I'll do the plug, All right. GG Nathan. So, you got any hacks in the works, or any projects to tease, or anything like that?
Not really. Not really. There's
Same, honestly.
there's a couple of collaborations I am involved in. Some new things happening. Put my name down for another race level in a couple of months. And apart from that, I'm not really sure what to do next.
Doc was mentioning with this level, you are actually our most prolific creator. Have made the most Romhack Race levels.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I really enjoy making levels for the race, because you immediately can watch someone like go through the level. You know, I learned a lot from how people react to certain obstacles by watching them here. It's just really fun. You know, you get a lot of feedback, and yeah,
Nah.
you need race levels, and I like to make race levels.
I think we've got, Doc will have the list. We've got a lot of, we got a really stacked upcoming creator list coming up. I think we have Ampersand doing one soon. Doc would have the whole list. Yeah, we sure do have a stacked lineup.
I saw that Daiso is gonna make a level.
Oh, nice. I think that might be next week. I'm not sure of the schedule. Also, yeah, thanks for the raid, Nathan MG. GG on the level. You got in that pipe entry on 1 coin. Very sharp. GG. It is Matt Mangort, Zaplex, Jank Pickle, and Germdove. Want to make sure, shout out everybody. Everybody's coming out, doing their best, you know, putting their names out there, trying to show off their skills. So hit the racers up with a follow, maybe a sub if you're feeling generous, and you know, I don't know, go make some friends. Kaizo's fun. Oh, yo, third wall. Yo, flip the switch. Yeah. Yeah, there's some hack about that. I forget. I think it was by somebody. I forget. Yo, upcoming creators. Mangor, Detu, Ampersand, Daiso Devon, Amazing Chest, Kerr, Detu, Hack Jam Team, Quiet Mason, Fire, Jank Pickle. This is great. This is great. It's going to be a fun summer. But yeah, once again, if y'all have any questions in chat or just want to learn a little bit more about this, either for me or for Orca, about the design process or anything else, shout them out. That's totally cool. You know, there's only so much play-by-play I can give on exactly the same obstacles, but we're here to support everybody and just hanging out. These are talented players and a really, really tough level tonight. I really like your aesthetics. I always have. It's kind of vanilla, but it's kind of chocolate a little bit. You got like the regular vanilla background with like a nice palette, and the chocolate got the little glowing luminescent blocks in there. It's good aesthetics.
One thing to say maybe about the second half, talking about aesthetics, is every time the disco shells get separated, I put a like this orange castle block. It's not really on the nose. It's not really on the nose, but I think like subconsciously it kind of makes you understand, because it happens every time they get separated.
Yeah, that's clever actually. That at first I thought that when I tested it, at first I was like, oh, I should avoid those blocks. I played too much luminescent, and I thought, oh, those are definitely gonna kill me.
Yeah, I don't have high expectations when it comes to aesthetics from like creators. Like, it doesn't matter to me much as long as it's not in a way or makes stuff hard to see. I like all kinds of aesthetics: chocolate, custom, vanilla.
Yeah, function. Yeah, I dig that, Darkanon. At a certain point, you're working with cinematography. You know, the same kind of thing that a photographer or a painter might use. You're using colors to highlight important areas of the level and to move the eye. You want your player's eye to naturally follow the path of the level, and you can do that by kind of highlighting different areas with color. I have a real soft spot for the purple lava in the first section. I just really like it. It's one of those vanilla palette swap lavas. I like it. Just looks delicious. Mangor, yo, check out the upper left. Mangor with a shot at the first checkpoint. Oh, they tried to save it. Yeah, the grape soda. It's delicious. What's your favorite lava color?
I love this lava color in the first half. It's black with a bit of purple. Looks great.
I don't think they ever did. They never did the purple lava in the vanilla game. I can't recall.
I was gonna ask. I have no idea where it's
yeah,
where it's supposed to be.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think that's just like an unintentional palette swap. They did the brown chocolate lava and they did the red lava, but I don't think purple ever was in the vanilla game. It's a shame though. It looks great. Yo, Jank Pickle in the lower left getting pretty close to a win here. They just need to be a little bit more consistent. Oh, Kaizo 3 has purple lava? Well, that's how you know it's a great game. So what else, Orca, like, talk about, like, making twists, like, you know, even if you're not, like, working on anything, like, at the moment, is there something that you think should be more explored? What haven't we explored in Kaizo enough? Like, K-Toon recently had the motor skills level design to get some, you know, because he thought motor skills was, like, underexplored a little bit. What do you think in Kaizo could use more exploration and more levels being built?
I always like to see power-ups being used, even if it's just Big Mario. You know, I think there's a lot you can do. I really like Fire Flower, I like Cape, and there's a lot of ways you can twist and turn that, you know. And I think the select button is there for a reason, and every once in a while would be cool to use it, you know. It doesn't have to be like super complicated, but I mean, it's there, you know.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought because if you could, in theory, if you're holding this regular Super Nintendo controller, it's weird you mentioned select. Also, Jank Pickle, rough nigh. But I was actually just thinking about this last night. If you're holding a regular SNES controller, right, and you've got your left thumb on the D-pad, you could easily reach your index finger around and claw grip the select button. You could easily do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm holding the controller right now, and it's, like, not that hard. And I was just thinking the other night that, like, nobody uses the select button for anything. Now, in before we get, like, a thumb shredder where you press select to spawn it and it's awful. But, yeah, that's interesting. I also completely agree with the power-up usage. I really like Fire Flower, and I would really like to see more Fire Flower usage. I think people tend to use it for you're sliding on ice and you shoot things. And that's kind of it. Or, like, you're bouncing and you occasionally shoot something out of the way. But, I don't know. I like sniping things with Fire Flower, and I really would like to see that explored a little bit more. I think there's more that Fire Flower can do besides the sliding. Just a complement to an ice level. Yoshi's also underrated. Yeah, I definitely. I think a lot of times people do only... They just have Yoshi and sacrifice Yoshi, and that's the whole level. Jank Pickle GG! So yes, doing something with Yoshi that wasn't just sacrificing Yoshi all the time. Not that, I don't even really care, but just there's more tech to do with Yoshi besides sacrifices.
I thought about when you bring like a shell through the gold tape, and you get a power up. It falls down like it falls down weird, like fast. And if you could use that in some way, that would be another thing I would like to see. You know, like drop that from the item reserve box.
Yeah.
But fast and straight down. That would be maybe a cool thing.
There's a little bit of a broken high score element if you have a feather in your reserve box and a Fire Flower on Mario. And you hang out and spam select while you're over the reserve box, you just freeze time and keep getting points for touching the feather. It's a banned high score technique.
The item reserve box is pretty jank. You can also hardlock your game.
Oh, yo, that actually got me thinking because you have, and I love that section in Titan Mario, that section where you're running and you have to switch between the cape and the feather to get through. I love that motif. That would be just a cool thing to experiment more with. Do that in a more complex way or have more power-ups or something. Heck, what if okay, I'm just spitballing, but what if you could have different power-ups in your item reserve box and you had to press up plus select or left or right to access each one, and then you had to keep swapping that way?
Yeah, that would be definitely pretty complicated, but why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things, even if it's just vanilla. I think it's good to use a lot of custom mechanics, but don't forget all the cool stuff you can do with just with vanilla SMW.
Absolutely.
Augment what you can do with SMW. I like to see those levels.
Yeah. Levels that seem like it could have been in the original game. Oh, Bob Barrow, yo, lower left, sad eye on that pipe. That was rough. Cause I know you said you played a lot of SMW as a kid, and so did I, and that makes me how do I say it? Nostalgic for levels that look like they could have been in the original game. Cause I spent so long trying to find all the secrets and get to the Star Road levels and beat Tubular and all this, that what is the next level going to look like? Who knows what's out there? And I still, somewhere in my brain, I'm still looking for that 97th exit, you know? Oh, yo, Darkanon, I like that idea. The power-up roulette power-ups in your item reserve box, and you have to time the drop of it to get what you want. That's pretty cool.
Please, nobody do that.
See, I have this bad habit of just kind of saying any bad idea for SMW that comes into my head, and I'm not necessarily going to make them all, but I do just like putting out the idea, just putting it out there in the world. Maybe, I don't know who needs to hear this, but disco shell that shoots fire. What have you enjoyed playing lately? Orca, question for Orca. If you have chat open, then you can read it too.
What have I been enjoying playing lately? I just finished the new jump hack, Send Your Regrets to the Tsar, and I really enjoyed that. It was very difficult, of course, but the late game was just awesome. Awesome. So many good ideas. It was a bit exhausting, of course, having so many ideas thrown at you, but it was always fresh and felt good.
I've been slowly getting my way through that one as well. The end boss looks really cool. I've seen it already.
I also played Rock'n'Roll Mario 2. Also very challenging, but just a lot of fun.
Wait, like Mario 2, like the NES Mario 2?
Rock'n'Roll Mario 2.
Oh, Rock'n'Roll. Oh, right. That is a good one. Using the shell summon to retrieve these discos and rethrow them? Weird. What if there was just a disco like this? It was like this disco shell, but you could like make it stationary and then pick it up, and then once you threw it, it would just be a disco again. That seems a little complex, though. Yo, Barbaro back again for a try at the checkpoint slow jump.
It's so sad when the shell pushes you in the wrong direction and just keeps going.
Yeah, that's something that's not typical for disco, and that was something that messed me up when I was playtesting this, and I think the racers are also kind of getting used to, is you're moving in such a way that you're trying to control the disco, and you know if you slide around, it's going to try to follow you, and here it doesn't do that. So it makes it a lot harder to recover if your first bounce on the disco shell is a bad bounce. If you go in the wrong direction, it's just going to leave, and you're not even going to get another try. Like how you can, if you if you like land badly on a disco, you can like bounce around and recover a little bit. Like you know what I mean? That little disco recovery. You can't do that here because it's just gonna skate away.
It also always goes at full speed, which is a bit hard to get used to. That's why I kind of never force you to stay really low on it for a long time.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't notice that, but yeah, that makes sense. Because it's going to be that much harder to surf on it because it's not moving how you would expect. I was when I was testing this too, I was thinking about that stalling part at the end, and I thought, well, maybe there should be like an indicator or something. But you know what? I didn't say that, and I definitely think that it's better without telling the player exactly how to do that part, which side to be on, or maybe numbers that say like 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a really, it's an interesting bit in the race to like see them learn that and get better at it, and it switched up the leaderboard a little bit too, based on who could like learn that part quicker. And I think there's something to be said for that, to not always holding the player's hand and telling them exactly what to do.
I think that part kind of explains itself. You see the wing platform going away, and you know that you have to survive there until it comes back.
Yeah, the tricky thing for me was figuring out which side I wanted to be on. Like because the disco bounces around a little bit weird. It was like left side, right side, and I had like trouble getting that. And I thought about saying like, well, maybe put like a number or something, but that's not a good idea. Don't listen to me. Yeah, K-Tune, 0 indicators. Well, there's 1 arrow, but it looks very readable. I think that's a very good skill of level design, is to just make the physical space imply what the right path is. That's easier said than done, but it's worth doing, you know? We got Mangor, we got Zaplex, Bobaro, and Germdove right now. Working hard. Let's say, yo, we schedule, you probably already know maybe, but if you didn't, we schedule about 2 hours for these broadcasts on Saturday night. We're hitting to hour 2 now. Feel free to hang out. Get comfy, hang out if you got questions. Cheer your favorite racers on, and check out Romhack Races if you want to play this for yourself. Gotta get the plug in. Mangor, upper left, with a shot at it. Yeah, right there especially. You can't recover. Oh! You can't recover from a bad. If you bounce on the left of the disco, you can't recover from that, which is one thing that makes this particular type a lot harder. What would you call this type of disco shell?
I call it independent disco shell.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that. I'll second that. That's a good description.
It kind of just goes, and you have to keep up.
Is this the DVD player of disco shells? It doesn't need tracking. Unlike a VHS player. Only 90s kids. We still have 9 racers working on this one. Heck yeah. I like that determination. It always made me laugh as a kid when the video store would stick a Be Kind Rewind sticker on the video game. They would put it on the plastic case for the video game or something. I don't know. They just stuck them on everything. But I would get the game and be like, how can you rewind a video game? Mangor, upper left, back again.
Be kind, delete your save files.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You never rented a game from the game shop and got to play all the hard levels because some other kid had the file and beat it already? That was like finding secret treasure back in the day. Did you have that kind of, because I know, we're kind of come from different areas growing up. Was that a thing overseas? Movie rentals, game rentals? I assume yes, but Was that like a
Definitely.
different experience, or did you have like different places or something? Mangor,
Up
what's
until,
the
like-
checkpoint? Let's go.
Oh, nice. I don't know, up until like 2008, I would definitely go to the video store and get movies and stuff. But video games, rarely. Just played like with friends or had my own consoles.
What systems did you have growing up? Did you have a SNES or? Well, you said you played Mario World, so I assume SNES.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandparents had the SNES. Sega, yeah, Master System. Mega Drive later. It's called the Genesis in the US.
Yeah, yeah. The Europe had the
PlayStation,
Mega Drive.
yeah. PlayStation, etc.
What do you think? What did you play? Maybe this is just like a weird question, I guess. But what did you play growing up that you feel like influenced you toward Kaizo? I like to play a lot of like arcade games that were really tough and you had to like pay attention a lot. And I feel like that kind of set me up for Kaizo. Did you have like a what was your like hard game experience, or were you not even into that?
I think when it comes to creating stuff, I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater. The second one had a level editor.
Yeah, it
So you could
did.
make your own skate park.
Oh yeah, man. Me too. Me too.
And-
Definitely had similar experiences because I definitely remember Tony Hawk 2 skate park creator. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Also, I played a lot of Sonic as a kid. And yeah, shooters. I always liked difficult games. Star Fox. Yeah.
You know, it's weird that someone hasn't ported Goldfinger, Here I Am, into Mario World by now. You'd really think. We've got, what, Hot Drinks and all these other meme songs. How do you pick the music for your levels? Is it just kind of whatever fits, or do you have a system?
It has to just fit, you know. Usually I make the level and then I get stuck and then I just decide to look for music. And since when I start making a level, I already have like aesthetics and everything set up, then it's actually easy to find something that just works, you know. Like in the second part, first of all, shout out to Composer. Both of these ports are made by Composer.
Nice.
And in the second part, it just works well with the flow, you know. Plus it's a cave level, the percussions work pretty nicely with that, so yeah, just has to feel right. Without being like super on the nose, you know.
What is something that you've learned over the years making levels that you wish you'd known up front?
How to judge difficulty and level length.
Yeah. Barbaro with the
something,
checkpoint.
That's something that's you just have to learn.
Yeah. Do you think, like, do you look back? Because I look back at even, like, Breakfast Kaizo 2 and Search for Salmon and just think, like, wow, some of the decisions that I made were not the right one. And there were certain parts that I just kind of shrugged and said, they'll probably be able to do it. You know, it's not too hard for me. I made it. I'll be fine. Is there a part that you can think of or something like in a hack that you've made where you just like really overstretch? Like for me, it would be Ultra Fuzzy in Search for Salmon. That level is way too hard. I made that too hard and I said, they'll be fine. I was wrong. Is there anything like that for you?
The last setup in Ultra Fuzzy where you have to drop the block, that is...
Yep.
It's just... It's
No,
just
you don't
so
need
specific.
I'll say it live on air. You don't need that setup. And if I were playing that hack now and it wasn't me, I would be like, you don't need this. This does not need to be hard. Why is it here? At the time, I just said, you know, they'll probably be all right. You know, whatever. It's that experience, right? You know, you've seen people play your stuff now, and you've seen like, oh, they are not having the time that I thought they would. Do you feel like just like being able to watch people play has been helpful, or?
Yeah. Just you can have your hack play tested a million times. The experience you get from watching, I don't know, like 20 people play it, that's just something different because they're not in a testing environment. They just want to play a game. And so you get like totally different. They have a totally different experience,
Yeah.
and that's what you're making the game for. Luckily, these are all fan games. You know, you can always update your game. I made like a massive, almost remix of Comfort Zone, just because I wanted to apply what I learned to the hack and make the version that is like the best of it. And you can just do that, you know. Like I would love to see more of that. Baba Yaga has done something similar with Boogie Wonderland, and it's just, you know, it's a good idea. It's something you can put out. People can re-experience something, and you can just like set it up in a way that reflects more on your skills as a creator after a while, you know, because nobody starts making hacks and is immediately, you know, has a great hack as a result.
Yeah.
Hyperion, exactly. Ampersand did it. I think I would love to see more of that, you know.
One thing I've definitely learned throughout making and also just kind of playing things, and I don't say this like a bad thing, it's just true about this kind of thing, is that if you make something really, really tough, you know, for me, that was like Various Dragons or whatever, but even if what you've made is totally fair and it's not, you know, janky or whatever, it's not even mean, if it's really hard, it's almost as if you as the maker are always going to have more tolerance for your own BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel that way about my stuff. You know, of course, I am going to want to put 15 hours into this level because I made it and I like it. But even the best stuff, your player is not going to tolerate it the way that you do. And that's been sometimes a hard pill to swallow almost, you know, because we all just like, we love what we make, and then someone plays it and they don't like it, and you're just like, oh no, like, oh no, but it's good, come on, get good, you know. But like, I think just recognizing that and just being like, okay, like, I am going to want to put up with this more than anybody else, and knowing that helps you make a little bit better decisions sometimes.
Yeah, plus as a creator, you basically have a safe state practiced every setup.
Yeah.
You make a level, you make a setup, then you save state to see if it works. So of course you're already great at your own level, and the difficulty will feel definitely lower than what it actually is. So
Yeah.
you need good playtesters, like whatever you do, even if it's easy.
I've always recommended for makers, you know, no matter how hard you think it is, how hard or how easy, and no matter how good you think somebody else is, just assume that they're going to have twice as hard of a time as you, at least, right? Just assume that, and it will be better, you know what I mean? Like, just assume it's going to be worse than it is, and they're going to have a harder time. Where I think the mistake I made in the past was assuming that they were going to have an easier time with it than they actually did. Or sometimes people make hacks and tend to think, well, I'm sure Calco will be able to beat it, or Louis Duce beat it. You know, it's just like, well, sometimes it's you get a skewed judgment when you only ask really, really good players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, you know, Louis Duce will probably say a lot of things are easy. Me too, you know what I mean? But like, is it really? Is it really easy, or are you just super good? And like, getting out of your own head can be something. It's not even trying to like brag, right? But just understand where your skills fit into the context of the player that you're trying to appeal to. Yeah, Doc, knowing what you want the play experience to be for players is big. I often, you know, I've started to think too, especially with like making like Subcon 2, is that even with Kaizo, you know, people tend to think that difficulty is the only element of the experience. You know what I mean? Like, well, if it's not difficult, then what are they really getting? Give them a surprise. You know what I mean? You can have elements of the experience that aren't related to difficulty but matter in a meaningful way. Germ Dove, yo, keep your eye on the lower right. Germ Dove making good progress and pretty close to the win. I hope you're all having a nice time. Again, if you didn't hear, romhackraces.com is the website. We do these every Saturday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. If you just like hanging out and watching the race, it is always a good time. We got a fresh level every week. And thanks for making Romhack Races a part of your Saturday evening. We'll be hanging out here at least for a little bit. Just here to cheer everybody on, put some hype in chat for your favorite racers. If you have Romhack Races emotes, they combo very well with any of your other favorite racers' emotes. Little arms and combo potential. Yo, Endless Ascent in the lower left. We got Mangort, Chef Boy Eric, Endless Ascent, and Germ Dove. Well, how do you think this goes? You know, do you feel like this... Or do you feel like this level hit the spot you were trying to hit? You think people did better, worse at it? How's the reaction?
Well, people beat it. People beat it pretty quickly, and I haven't really seen anyone get stuck forever. So that's good.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anyone getting stuck in the second part for a long time or just constantly doing the wrong thing. And I think that's a sign of really good design here.
Like the problem that I have with race levels is that I can't just send it to someone and then watch them test it. So every time I see like at least one thing that I wish I would have seen and changed, even here, even though it's just a very small thing.
What do you think it would be this time? Just curious.
You get to the vertical drop part, where you drop down between the disco shells,
yeah,
and you can see the P-switch on the right side. And that has led to like some confusion. I watched one of the racers was constantly trying to hit that switch several times to make the P-switch drop down. And I should have just like obscured that, you know, so you don't even see the P-switch.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing. It's not even a big deal. You figure out pretty quickly that if you spend too much time there, then you will get trapped. So I think it's still okay, but if, let's say I make this like a level in a hack, then that's something I would definitely change. Do replay videos help? It does help. It's always good to watch someone play your levels, see where they get stuck. It doesn't even have to be like a mistake or soft lock or something. But even if people just constantly do like the wrong thing, get confused.
Now, you know, on the other side of that coin, I'm sure you've had this experience too. You, as a designer, you put in a lot of little things to help the player, and they might not even notice it. But every time I see a player make use of one of those helpful things, or they don't die because of some helpful thing, I think, aha, I'm watching out for you. I like that. Like, when you do things right, people won't notice you've done anything at all. And I always like when a player like gets saved by something that I put in there to save them or help them, but they didn't even notice. They didn't even notice that was there. They just said, oh yeah, of course I win. And I like that. I like being like the unseen hand of help, you know what I mean? Like either the unseen hand of helping or hurting the player. Yo, Mangort getting down to the final section there. Another way that that's different from the Chefy 2 outro is that in Chefy 2 you're not going down a slope, and in this one you are. And I think that adds a little bit to it. Somehow that little drop can like mess you up. Nice Futurama reference, thank you. Good catch. It is true though. It really is true with level design. If you do it right, people won't notice you did anything all. Like, think about this for a second. You know, Orca designed this in such a way that the flow is really obvious. How do you know what to do? You don't even need the indicators because it's just, that's what you do. It's the one thing that there is to do. That is, to the players, they might not even notice, right? It's just, oh, it works out. Okay, of course. But that's Orca doing things right in the design, right? It's that unseen hand.
Yeah, one example for that is actually after you drop down between the two shells, you see that you walk down like it's like a set of stairs. And there was a slope, but you would constantly get P-speed, be too fast, run into the disco shell, you know? And so I made those stairs because they kind of reset your speed value.
Yep, exactly.
And keep you from
like
getting
that.
P-speed. It's a small thing, but it helps you. Because you would constantly die there, you know. At first, it's not a big deal, but as you get better at the level and you go faster, it would just happen constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a small thing.
Yeah, that's very smart though, and I bet none of the racers even noticed that. But yeah, I see that helping them out just a little bit. It's like they don't even realize, but yeah, it's getting them through. Very cool. Would you folks say save state usage for playtesters is generally bad practice, or could it be mostly beneficial for creators if testers help check for cheese potential? I'd say for my part, K-Tune, when I playtest for Romhack Races, I try to do it the standard way. But I also do use save states to understand the obstacles. Honestly, I think that the answer to that question, for at least in my answer, it kind of depends on your level of experience. If you know how to test and you're familiar with what to look for, then save states might save you some time. And if you're not, then they'll rob you of that experience. That's my answer. I don't know, maybe Orca has a different thought.
I guess it depends on the hack. Like, if I make a hack that is supposed to be intermediate and you have to save state, then I definitely did something wrong, so that's a sign. But for cheese or to just find out things, yeah, of course. I mean, you don't want stuff to be possible even if it's just like barely possible. You know, unintended stuff. So save state usage can really help finding out weird things like that.
Yeah, when I test for levels, even when I test my own stuff, I try to look at what are the things about the obstacle that have to be there, and what are the things that don't have to be there. Like, for example, you have to, in this part here, Mangor, where they're running through, you have to get the shell down there, but it doesn't need to be a one-tile drop. Stuff like that. Like, you have to jump up and hit the switch, but you don't have to be so precise and only hit one. You could have 2 on-off switches in the ceiling to make it easier to align. So, like, finding those places where you could adjust one tile or another tile one way or another way, great way to tune up levels without really having to change the content of the obstacles. There's, like, the main... I like to call it, like, the main difficulty. That's the trick that you're doing. The shell jump or the whatever. That's the main difficulty. And then the secondary difficulty is the circumstances that you have to do that in. So you have to do the shell jump. That's the trick. But then the secondary difficulty is, okay, you have to land on half a tile. Or you have to go through a one-tile gap. Or do a jump right before that. That's the setup, you know? And so you can make something... A shell jump could be free, or that same exact shell jump could be impossible, depending on how tight you make the secondary difficulty. And I think that's primarily where players ought to look. So if, like, I feel like if you know what you're looking for and you've tested a lot of stuff, then save states can help you see that faster. Like, at a certain point when I'm playing something, there's nothing else to learn. Excuse me. Like, I know why this part is hard. It's a 2-tile, not a 3-tile. I don't have to die on it over and over and over again. There's nothing else to learn, you know? Excuse me. Pardon me. What do you like doing more? Do you like playtesting more, or do you like making?
Playtesting, I don't really like playtesting anymore. I used to do a lot of playtesting.
We kind of have all the same answers tonight. I
But
feel the same.
I don't know. I mean, of course, I playtest for my friends. I playtest for people that playtested for me. But I don't think I have like the best feedback, to be honest.
I kind of agree,
You know?
like for myself as well.
Like I mean, it's fine, you know, and it's just a personal thing because that's why you have more than one playtester, you know. I don't even try to find everything because I just think, okay, I'm sure the creator has like more playtesters that will find things that I don't see.
Yeah.
But usually I enjoy it more to just play hack for fun. And there's a couple of things that I'm looking forward to playtesting. But I'm not really eager to seek that out, you know.
Yeah. I think what I was thinking about for Subcon 2, specifically since it was Mario 2, is when I get playtesters for it, I want to get at least one playtester who's really good at Mario 2 and one playtester who has never played Mario 2 ever. And or pretty close, you know what I mean, who has like no experience. And I want to like find the average between that, you know what I mean? Like take some feedback from some testers and some feedback from others. It's like maybe picking testers that have the type of experience that you'd want. Like I can only test as like a player of my skill level. I'm not trying to brag, it's just I don't know what a less skilled player might do in a situation because it's like hard to get out of your head for that. So that is a good point, that like playtesting is characterized by the skill of the tester, not to make it like a competition.
Yeah, I think what Darkanine has put in chat is true. Like, you don't even need much feedback, just watching someone play your level. Like, that's a good start, at least, you know. But as a playtester, you should check for everything.
That's an interesting question too. How do you balance respect for players' time and hands?
That is a good question.
I don't know what to do about hand pain. It's one of those like, it's almost like how do you make a dumbbell that everyone can lift? You know what I like, at a certain point muscle comes into play. There is an amount of muscle development, and like I hate to like strength training. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's an interesting question. What do you think?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention for a second.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Talking about how do you balance respect for the player's time and hands?
I think a level can be difficult, and a level can be long, and a level can be input heavy and long. It just has to like feel right, and I think if your level on top of that is fun, then people will definitely put the time and willpower into it, into like beating the level. And everybody has to watch out for their own hands. Like if you have a history of grabbing controller too tight and having hand pain, then I don't know. It's not really the creator's fault, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And
even though, you know, it's just hard to find the balance. You know, if a level gives me something new and something fun, then of course I do the LR plus motor skills plus whatever, you know. But if it's super tedious and you just have to repeat everything for like too long, and it's difficult for the wrong reasons, then yeah, you don't want to annoy the player, I think.
Yeah. I think too, and this is also me. Oh, Chef Boy Eric, so close to that pipe. This is also me sometimes. I'm not exempting myself from this, but sometimes something is tough and it's completely fair. And like I need to recognize why something is tough. As a player, you can't always just, oh, this is too tough. Why'd you make it so hard? Like, look at it and really think, like, why is this hard? Is this hard because it's too tight, or is it hard because I need to learn something? Yo, Germ Dove, lower right-hand corner, Germ Dove, watching out with the pause, being careful, and I hope this is going to be a win. Oh my gosh, run, buddy.
You can feel the nerves.
Got him. Yo, nicely done. Yeah, you can't feel the nerves, huh? But, like, I think if this was a good example just the other day for me. I don't know if you tried it yet. I bet you'd like it, though. Way of the Tempest, GUI. They put it out on SMW Central just a little bit ago. And I don't know. Maybe you don't want minor spoiler, but the final section is a really intense Yoshi flight section. And when I first played it, I thought, oh my god, this is so hard. And I spent like 4 hours, and I didn't get like anywhere. As a player, we always like to say, well, the maker should have play tested. The maker did this. The maker did that. Sometimes, yeah, the maker did. It's the maker's fault sometimes. But I think as players, especially if we want to, if you want to be good, you want to treat this with some amount of respect as a serious like discipline of skill. And sometimes you just need to know when you need to sit down and learn something. In the case of Way of the Tempest, that Yoshi flight section was fair. It wasn't. They didn't put a 1 tile or a 2 tile in to be mean. They just made a hard trick, and so I actually had to go and learn a little bit more Yoshi dive bomb flight. But by the end of it, it was easy. So like, I guess as players, don't pass up on those opportunities to just say, okay, I'm not good enough at this thing yet. I'm going to practice and learn, because the rewards are innumerable.
Yeah. That's actually what Breakfast Kaiser World 2 taught me. Because I never did Yoshi Flight. Oh yeah.
Sometimes the maker wants to be naughty too. Yeah. But no, that final bit from Way of the Tempest, that was good. By the end of it, I was just consistent. It was just fun. I was just having a good time. And that's like, I don't know. I think sometimes I have done this to myself too, is players shortchange themselves by not learning something that they probably could learn pretty quickly and get good at, but, oh, it's too tough, or whatever. I don't know. Just sit down and learn sometimes. It's good for you. The metric for how good a difficult level is how much you're laughing or cursing out the creator. There you go. So we still got a race here. We got Mangort, Chef Boy Eric, Endless Ascent in the lower left, and Bob Barrow. Everybody getting pretty deep into the second section right now. It's a good race. How are you feeling, chat? So what's on your mind? Hope everybody's feeling comfy. Thanks for joining us for some Saturday Night Romhack Races. Don't forget, I'm gonna say this again. You're gonna hear this from me multiple times. Follow the racers, follow Orca. Check out the Kaizo community on Twitch if you're looking for a little bit more Kaizo action in your life. There is no shortage of amazingly talented players and makers. Hey, you can sleep through the stream. Hey, Mangort, though, not going to sleep. Not sleeping on this ending. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. That wasn't even the first one first player that had that. Oh, jeez. Do you feel... How did... I don't know about you. Do you feel the need to, like, apologize? Sometimes I do. Like, oh, I'm sorry for that part. I know, I'm sorry. You know, like, when you're making it, you're all like, ha ha ha, it's gonna get them. And then when they die, you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Rarely. Actually,
Rarely?
I make it so that I know some people will die to it, but you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be weird to put in a troll and then feel bad about it. Sometimes it happens because you see people play stuff above their skill level and put like hours and hours of time into a level, and just to die to a stupid troll, you know?
Yeah. Yo, that's Mangor with the clear. Well earned, and Chef Boy Eric with the nigh. Ah, jeez.
Also, shoutouts to Darkanine for suggesting ice physics in the switch room at the end.
Oh, that's ice physics in there. Good job, Darkanine. Good job. You almost could have had ice physics for this whole second section.
I think that would have been annoying. You have to like turn left and right to specific positions.
Oh man, you're not wrong. I really like being the devil on the shoulder of everybody making things. No, throw in a midair, put ice physics in. So everyone does well to ignore my ideas. Yo, GG Mangor, thanks for racing with us tonight. Excellent job. Put a high Mari ball in. Yo, Ender of Games coming in the upper left. Chef Boy Eric, Endless Ascent. Bob Barrow. Actually, just a high Mari disco shell. Yikes.
My idea for the last room was to give you a normal disco shell suddenly and see if somebody actually dies to that.
I think that's a funny switch up. You finally got used to the regular disco, and now it's just like, oh, nope. Yo, look out, Bob Barrow. Ooh, swag points. Oh, the swag points, though. I like the suspicion.
They've had enough.
Yeah, no, kill the disco already. Nice job. Yo, Zaplex in the lower right. Ender of Games, Chef Boy Eric, Endless Ascent. Keep your eye on Chef Boy Eric. They have already been to the final room. What, any hacks coming out lately that you're, like, really excited about? Or maybe some speedrun plans? Or what's your Kaizo plan? What are you into these days? Even though I watch your stream, so I kind of know that. This is more of an interview question, but...
Since you mentioned Way of the Tempest, I was actually planning to play all the GUI hacks because I really enjoyed Louis Doucet World. So I want to play those. And speedrun plans, I think the next speedrun is going to be Moon. I was planning on Sheffy 2, but I can't speedrun that hack anymore.
I don't blame you at all.
Absolutely, my hands are destroyed after every playthrough. Yeah.
You know the thing about Sheffy 2, sorry to cut you off, but the thing about Sheffy 2 that really sucks for speedrunning is even if you're good at it, that game will ruin the pads in your controller. Right? I went through, when I was speedrunning that game, I went through pads so much faster because you're pressing all the directions. You're slamming down the buttons all the time. And yeah, it'll wreck them. But yeah, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
It's just the final level with Thumb Shredder.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I love thumb shredder and it's very fun, but too much for too long. It's like the only section of the game where I just clutch the controller really hard, and it's not good. My whole arm hurts.
Yep. Yeah, I think thumb shredder in particularly, and I say this is like I made thumb shredder in particularly. Thumb shredders and R and L trigger stuff really hurt my wrists because it like you're using like I'm using like my index finger, and so that like if you like kind of compress your index finger, you feel that muscle in your arm and your wrist kind of pull. That I always feel like it's just harder on the hands that way. So I totally agree. Chef Boy Eric, yo, thank you for the raid. Good job. Well earned clear tonight. Now you've got me thinking about what I might make for a independent disco shell level. I think this has a lot of potential.
It does. It does.
You could do something. I think my idea was like you could do something really wild with this because I had always wanted to. A long time ago, I was working on a disco shell plus layer 2, where like you're surfing on a disco, but then the floor is layer 2 and it's moving up and down. But this would actually be better for that because you could control the disco bouncing and then the layer 2 just kind of moves along. So it's like a whole level of this like waiting section where you just kind of learn where to be and how to jump. Oh, you know another one I bet you would like, Orca, if you haven't played it. Grimkin of Style and Precision. I won't ruin it, but the final section of the third level in that is such a neat idea, and it was pretty inspiring.
Yeah, I watched you a bit play that last night. Maybe at some point.
Then you would have seen it. Right, we watch each other's streams. So like...
I rarely seek out cape stuff, to be honest. Even though I like cape.
Don't like cape? That's fair.
I just don't like seek it out. There's so much to play. I looked fun. You know, I like precision stuff for sure. I never played anything with cape really. That has so much precision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cape is the most subtle of all the techs, especially when you get into Yoshi Flight. You're just like basically doing it with a blindfold on.
Yeah, kind of.
Any hacks that you're really excited? Upcoming stuff?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to Xiao Xiao's shell hack.
Ooh, same.
That is 95% finished before 0.9 for testing. So I will actually do testing for that, so I'm looking forward to that. And I was watching Baba Yaga work on something really cool.
Ooh,
which
exciting.
Is probably going to take a while, but really nice. And it has just so much good stuff.
I've seen some
right
good
now.
little teasers from Xiao Xiao's shell hack, but I haven't got to play it yet.
Yeah, I would rate that hack definitely at like Chefy 2 difficulty, but with vanilla shells.
That's awesome. I am really excited for that. There've been a lot of shell hacks coming out lately. They're pretty tough. Do you think we'll ever get a Chefy 3?
I hope so.
Same.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
There have been teasers. There has been a level.
I had that one bomb level. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. You know, I kind of hold out hope that West is just elusively lurking around and might release something sometime. I've always appreciated, Orca, your blend of action and item abuse. I appreciate that. I do, especially when, you know, a lot of stuff could be solely focused on platforming. And I really like the little bit of item manipulation and stuff you bring to the table. It's always been a good vibe.
Yeah, one thing I think that is awesome about SMW is Mario's interaction with like everything, you know, even if it's just sprite platforms. But there's like little things you can do with almost everything. So just having platforming is rarely the case when I make a level. It's always something you have to grab, push, move around. I like when you have to make stuff work, you know? Like
Yeah,
the level only works when Mario is there and does the thing.
It's a sort of a unique thing. There aren't really a lot of other platform games of this era where you do manipulate items a lot like that. Right? Some platform games have blocks you can grab or kick, but there's not really a lot of like item platforming games that I can really think of. I mean, you got like your Metroids and stuff, which is like power-ups, but Mario World in particular is very like there's stuff you can hold and carry. Yeah, that's true. So you got like your shells, keys, grab blocks, like all have different interactions that you can use. P-switches.
Yeah, I think Kirby had a lot of interactions with enemies and stuff.
Yeah, Kirby too. I've always wondered sort of what a Kirby Kaizo would look like. I think it would be a lot of power-up usage. Endless Ascent, lower left-hand corner of your TV screen contains a player who's about to either win it all or have to try again. GG, Endless Ascent. Notable Tunic enthusiast and very kind individual. Endless Ascent for the win. DKC Rolling Barrel Ride Kaizo. Wait. Wait, Rolling Barrel Ride. Wait, what's... I forget that part from DKC. Are you talking about the rotating barrels? Tunic is so good. Everyone can go play Tunic. Please go play Tunic. I say this to you with no irony. Tunic was the best video game experience of my adult life. In my adult life, I have not had a better video game experience with Tunic. Don't look up the spoilers. Just go in, play the game. Yeah, the less you see before playing it, the better. I completely agree. I would say the same. Currently, my favorite game. Tunic is just absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it. What stuff do you like for like non-Mario these days, Orca? Pardon me.
Well, right now I'm just finishing my Elden Ring playthrough.
No, nice.
After like 200 hours. And yeah, I'm kind of right now getting into Souls games actually.
Well, have you heard the good news about our Lord and Savior Tunic? It's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what the problem is? I played Death's Door. Yeah, maybe you heard about that game.
You played what?
Death's Door.
Oh yeah.
And I was pretty bored by it. And then I saw Tunic, and they look kind of similar. So just by proximity to Death's Door, by aesthetics a bit, I don't know. I haven't really actually looked into it. But if everybody loves it, maybe.
That's fair. I haven't played Death's Door, so I really couldn't compare. I know there are other games kind of like Tunic. People were talking about Fez and The Witness as being kind of like Tunic, but I don't know. There's something about it that just calls out. I guess, and this really isn't even a spoiler. You can get this from the trailer, but like as someone who played games when you were a kid, I'm sure you remember not being able to read the manual or the strategy guide or something, or only like having I'm like trying to play Mario RPG, but I only read at a 4th grade level, and that feeling of mystery kind of went away, as we became adults. We all got good. We know how video games work. We get that. Tunic takes you right back to being a kid, and it's spring break, and you got nothing to do other than puzzle over what this game is, and there's something I think very beautiful about that. Not the only game to get that experience, but it's a good one. I thought maybe I could try a Souls Souls game after playing Tunic. Like, I get it. You know, I get it.
Yeah, Souls games are hard to get into. At first, it just seems unfair and really, really brutal. But you kind of get the hang of it. I think it's similar to Romhacks because the mechanics are always kind of the same, physics, the fighting. So you kind of get better as you play more games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think do you feel an inspirational crossover for you between, you know, playing Souls games and how that influences your Romhack creation?
Like I said, I'm just kind of getting into it. But I always play like stuff that is difficult, unfair. You know, like I really enjoy Enter the Gungeon, for example.
Yeah, word.
Just because of the difficulty. And
do you ever play something else? Do you ever play something else and think like, okay, I have to take some element of this and put it into a hack now? Not like steal an idea, but just like, oh, I don't know. Like when I saw like the Dune movie and played Tunic, I thought like I have to make Subcon 2 feel like that. Like there's a certain feeling that I'm going for that I'm trying to bring out. Like, do you get like inspired by like feelings like that?
Maybe subconsciously, I don't know.
Sure.
Not that I look at something and then get an idea. I really get like into other games and then don't even think about Mario in that moment. For me, it's more favorite? Like I make a level and then later I see, okay, I got kind of inspired by this and that.
Sure. I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite arcade game? I'm just that GC7 curiosity interview question.
Favorite arcade game?
Like cabinet stand-up arcade.
Not really stand-up arcade, but I really liked Wave Racer style games.
Oh yeah.
And
did you ever play
racing games?
Hydro
That
Thunder?
way you would sit in a booth, you know, and like in a cockpit.
Hydro Thunder or the Star Wars Pod Racer game? Well, we got about 10 minutes here. Wrapping up, we schedule about 2 hours for these broadcasts. I just want to let everybody know once again kind of who we are, what we're doing. Romhack Races every Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Join us here for a fresh, never-before-seen Super Mario World Kaizo level made by a talented maker and tested by our community. Tonight's level was tested by SQL Infection, Darkenine, Dr. No, and myself. The mods tonight helping us out, Cherry Eevee, Osu Mario Kartman, and Darkenine. Thank you so much for that. Dr. No, as usual, on the restream, making it all look real nice on TV, bringing you all the action and helping out with the leaderboard tonight. D to the fourth, always kind. She's helping us out with the website and a lot of tech stuff behind the scenes. We really appreciate everybody's contributions. Romhack Races is a volunteer organization. People just kind of giving their time to make this all happen. And if you're interested in making a level or volunteering for some stuff around the shop, maybe mod or scout or help test, please check out the volunteer forums on the website, romhackraces.com. Sign up over there, jump on Discord if you want to, and yeah. Oh, well, I'll buy y'all a pizza or some ice cream. Free pizza for every Romhack Race tester. I'm not joking. You can hit me up. Redeem your free pizza coupon, GC7 Pizza. But thanks all so much to the volunteers and folks who helped this out. This is a community effort, and we're really, really grateful to be able to put on these races for everybody every week. Tonight's maker, of course, Orca, BLN, giving us all the insights in chat. Go check Orca out and drop a sub, follow for this excellent level. I don't know who's up next week, but it's going to be a banger. Definitely want to be here for it. And I don't know what else. I don't know. I'm Glitch Cat. Probably knew about that. We got a little bit, probably going to raid about 2 hour mark, but we got a little bit of time hanging out with Ender of Games, Proto Pizza, Ceocadelic, and Zaplex. Good level tonight, Orca, man. Great level. Was very, very happy to see this one run.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody who came out racing. It was really fun to watch. And here it's almost 4 a.m., so I think I'm gonna get off the mic.
Sure. Yeah, get some rest. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
joining us. Thank you for everything, Orc. I really, really respect you as a maker and a player.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It was fun to talk about the level.
Right on. Well, get some rest. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. And then there was just me. Well, it's kind of lonely in here now. Aw, geez. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I don't really know. I don't have much else to plug for you, but I do hope you're having a good night. I'll take a second to do a little shameless self-promotion. I am le4che. You probably knew that. Tomorrow night over on my stream, we're having Patron's Choice games picked by supporters of mine on Patreon, and I let them call the tune for the night. We're playing Aladdin, the Starseed Pilgrim. We're playing Sonic 2 and Impossible Catastrophe on PS1. So if you're looking for a little bit of variety, come and say hey tomorrow. But for the rest of your Saturday night, your homework is to go and meet some friends in the Kaizo community. There are so many good racers out, and the Mario World directory is always filled with people, really cool people playing Kaizo games. So if you're having a good time and you're not ready to stop partying yet, go and follow the racers. These folks are putting their names out there. They're working really hard to show their skills and just get their name kind of out there. I think that should be rewarded. Help out the small streamers because that helps out everybody. And go follow the racers, and maybe we'll bump into each other around Twitch chat tonight. I'll be hanging out. Aladdin, yo, Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu. That's the password for the Genie's Lamp. I'll remember that till the day I die. I played that game with my buddy as a kid. We would always play Aladdin, and the Genie Lamp level was the best level. So, Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu. Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu. This is our final four tonight. I will leave it up to Doc to decide who to throw the raid over to. Traditionally, at the end of the stream, we throw the raid over to someone else in the community. Use your brand new Romhack Race emotes. Don't forget about those. And if you're looking for a little bit more Romhack action, I've been putting out, well, Skytree's been putting out Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube videos on the regular, every day, new GC7 content. So I would appreciate it if my numbers went up. That makes me feel good, makes my brain do the little happy chemical. And it'll make you happy too, because you'll get some more Kaizo clears. Proto Pizza! Yo, looking pretty happy right now. Making their way to the checkpoint. Let's go. It is really an honor to do these for everybody. I'm always really grateful that we get the responses that we do, that people are hanging out, make this a little part of your Saturday night. Thank you for that. Thank you. Happy Saturday. Thanks for making Romhack Races a little part of it. Oh man, this was a good one tonight. This was a quality race. Once again, a great illustration. Calco one-shotting the pipe to get the first checkpoint, but then Louis Douce coming out ahead and one-shotting the pipe at the second checkpoint for the win. And I love how dynamic that can be. I love how dynamic that can be. There are two things that might win: consistency or one-shots. And any racer at any moment has the opportunity to win, no matter what the odds are. We've seen come-from-behind victories, and we've seen people just crush the level and kind of run unopposed. It's always really interesting. I'm trying to focus in commentary a little bit more on what makes the race interesting and dynamic, who's in the lead, and what the players behind, what their options are to catch up. I don't know, this is maybe silly, but if you all have any feedback for me about what you would like out of Romhack Race commentary, what I'm doing, if you'd like me to do it a different way or explain something differently, that is always cool to let me know. We're trying our best to shout out everybody and call out everybody's moves. But if there's something that you would like to see or something that we could be doing better, that is always cool to just let us know. And I'm not sure what else to say other than I hope you have a lovely Saturday night. Thanks for being a part of it tonight with us. Well, yeah, just finish faster. Forehead. And before there's a Romhack Race level where you have to set up the credit warp in order to win. Let's talk about parallel universes. Super Mario beaten with minimal A press. You know, the thing about Mario World is it can be beaten with 0 A presses. We don't have what is half an A press. We don't have time to get into that tonight. For tonight, we're going to go on a raid. I have already told you all the things, but don't forget you can check out romhackraces.com if you want to learn a little bit more about us. Go and check out the SMW directory and find some good Kaizo players to hang out with. Learn yourself a thing or two. Practice your regrabs. Work on your disco shell surfing. And I want to see what cool levels you all are making. Make your hacks. Submit them to SMW Central so we have more stuff to play. Thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. I'm informed that we are going to go raid Zaplex. They are kind and cool. And we will see you all again Saturday night next week, right here, Romhack Races, 8 p.m. Eastern for another fresh level. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. Thank you once again to the staff and volunteers. Could not do it without you. I have been Glitch. You have been you. This has been Romhack Races. You matter. Your thoughts matter. Your heart matters. Your feelings matter. You matter to other people in your lives. And you matter to me as human beings. You matter to the internet's #1 Longboy Furret. And the people who matter to you in your lives would like to hear from you about that. We know Black Lives Matter, LGBTQIA+ lives matter, Indigenous lives matter, disabled lives matter. You too. I will see you around on Twitch. I will see you all on my stream tomorrow for Patron's Choice. Maybe back here on Romhack Races. Keep it cool. Stay chill. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.